Okay, cool. So this is the first time that I'm doing a double live right now. I've got Instagram and I've got YouTube. I had no idea that I was going to incorporate YouTube. That's something that I've just been feeling like I need to do, but I keep not doing it. And maybe it's the new moon, new year energies have me doing it now. I kind of wish that I knew I was going to be doing this. Normally, the way that it works with me is I don't really plan ahead. And once I get the hit that I need to do something, it happens. So I do it. So no warning yet again, but it's all good. I actually, in my year ahead reading last night, one of the biggest things that came up for me for this month, for January, was that, I have a lot of planning to do. I really need to start getting things down on paper. I have to stop being so willy-nilly. Sorry, my Palo Santo smoke is like suffocating me. So I feel like I'm going to be working on that a lot. And that is also why I'm not dressed for the occasion, but whatever. But anyway, so normally I do a week ahead energy forecast for Sundays, but I decided that I want to do a year ahead. Okay. So this is collective. So for somebody that gets a year ahead reading with me personally, then you are getting a very personal year ahead message for yourself, directly for you. This is more of a collective thing, okay? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull cards for every single month of 2022 and then an overall feeling for 2022. Okay. So that being said, another thing that I feel like I needed to tell you guys, because normally before I get on here, I do my protection and I do my prayer and everything before I go live, before I do the reading. Hold on, this smoke is really getting on my nerves because I like to have that time to myself. And I am going to be probably working on a little mini e-course to guide people on how to do those things themselves, what it actually is to cast a protection prayer and to really connect to source, because that was one of my biggest things, was like when I was really starting to dive into my passion, dive into this life path. I come from such a religious background where I was always so worried about being infiltrated by negative vibes or something like that. And I always like took the protection so literally, and the prayer and making sure I do it right, so that because they say like you're toying with dark energies, and it's really not the case. Like, and I'll talk about that again, like at another time. But anyway, real quick, like I just want to give you guys an idea of what I do when I do my protection prayers. And then there will be a more in-depth, course that will come at some point in the year about that. But basically I just get still and I talk to God. Not everybody uses God. Some people use source, some people use creator. Whatever your term is, I get still and I connect to God. And I right away, always God first, because God is the most powerful. And then I go to Jesus, the Blessed Mother, who I have a very strong connection with. And then I'll go into ancestors, spirit guides, and archangels. I very often will call on Archangel Michael because he's known for having his sword to cut any energetic cords that tie me to another person or an energy that does not serve me at that time. Then I'll ask for protection, and I'll usually envision white light coming down in one way or the other. Today it was like a tunnel, and like the tunnel connects directly from me to God, that all the messages are divinely guided. Okay. So if you want to take time to, whether you're watching the replay again, because I gave no warning or whatever, you are more than welcome to be still for a moment and just connect and ask to receive the messages that you are meant to hear. So I have my little Reiki cloth out for tonight, but it's all right. That's another thing too. My Reiki is tonight. My collective healing is at 9:00 for the new moon. It's called the New Year, New Moon $1 million idea activation, because obviously with the new year, a lot of people are feeling a clean slate. Everybody wants to start new habits, leave the old in 2021, bring the new into 2022. And the energies right now are emphasized by what's going on in the planet. So a new moon itself is always about leaving the old in the past and having a clean slate. And then there's also a lot of, planetary accentuations coming from Neptune, the moon and the sun, Capricorn, like it all just coming together. I'm not going to go into a full astrology reading, but I did write that down in my email list. So if you are not subscribed to my email list, you can do that through my link in bio on my Instagram or on my website, queenofcups.com. And it's also on one of my captions, and I have an IGTV about it as well, if you want more information on that. But it's just like big energies tonight are going to be incorporated with the collective Reiki healing being sent out, really working on making space for what is to come in. So clearing out to make room for what's coming in and to really help you align and get clarity on those ideas. Make space for your ideas to come in for what it is that you are supposed to do this year. Okay, because when we keep talking about it but not being about it, we're not making any room for it, whether literally or in our spiritual mind, because we're constantly, I don't have time, busy, busy, busy. Oh my God, it's 2023 already. We all know that cycle too well. So we really need to make space for that. And, that's what I was saying for me with my year ahead reading. That was like big for January, was just like emptiness. Okay, they're already coming out. Okay, let me get these crystals out of the way. This is like a reading that I need to do on the floor so I can have more room. So just give me a second to pull these. Ooh. We got 3 of Wands in one of the same places I think I got it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 9. 10. Ooh. This is good. 11. Ooh. Oh, 12. Okay. Then we have the crown. Okay, so I got the 12 tarot cards. Next, I'm going to go in with the archetype cards. So I will say, though, about this deck, this is a brand new deck for me. So when I was doing mine last night, I used my intuition, but then I went to the book if I felt like I needed to really get clarity on what the card means, because like literally this is brand new. So if I feel like I need to go to the book, I will, and I'm not going to be rushing myself. I'm not going to be paying attention to how many people are on the live, because I did not announce this at all, and this will be available for a replay. Okay. I feel like I need to... I'm going to run out of space, so I'm going to pull them as I go. All right, so for January, we have 2 of Cups, and we have the Pilgrim. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is, we're on a journey to self-love. January is going to be really focused on, really starting the journey back home to yourself is what I'm getting. 2 of Cups also has a lot to do with relationships. It has a lot to do with how we love other people. It can be in a romantic way, it can be in a platonic way, or it can involve self-love. So I really feel like people are going to be focusing on, starting a journey or continuing a journey to how you love and how you receive love in your relationship. Something that is going to be really important for people to remember, or at least really start to integrate now at this time, is that you really truly only have the ability to receive love from people equivalent to the capacity that you are able to give yourself. So if you have these lingering, whether conscious or subconscious beliefs about yourself, maybe you were abandoned as a child. Maybe you have abandonment issues. Maybe you have a history with an abusive partner, whether it's mental or physical. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe you have body image issues, like all of these things that are underlying that as we enter adulthood. Sometimes it's easier to forget because we get busy. We have jobs. Some of us have kids. We have responsibilities. Or you're just so busy trying to fix everyone else to take you out of thinking about yourself and what needs to be fixed about yourself, that you don't even realize that, you really are walking around with unhealed trauma. And so many people too focus on needing to heal the trauma as if like it is like a race, and once you cross the finish line then you'll be done. But I saw something profound recently that was like the ability to grow around your wounds, and not in a way where you are suppressing them, but in a way where you're truly embracing them and they become a part of you, in the sense that you're not a victim anymore, but that you understand why you operated a certain way up until this point and how you need to moving forward, where you continue to grow and you heal as you grow. You don't view it as like a finish line, like I can't do something until I fix this wound. Like it's not true, but you have to address it. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be on a journey to self-love, on a journey to how to love others, how to receive love, and to really see clearly how we call in what we have inwards, if that makes sense. So, really paying attention to that, really pay attention to your partners, really pay attention to repeated patterns with friendships, with lovers, with family. And, as you see these cycles repeat, asking yourself, like, where does this come from and why do I keep calling this in? And going on a journey back home to yourself, going on a journey back to self love, and how to love and heal and respect yourself enough that you begin to call in the thing that you desire. Okay. For February, we have the Queen of Cups. I love the Queen of Cups. What else do we have? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the book for this because I don't even have any idea what this is. But the Queen of Cups, I love her. She's very, very, I mean, obviously I love her. That's where my name comes from. She's extremely, extremely intuitive, psychic, um, motherly, nurturing. So I feel like on this journey to self-love, you're really going to learn to embrace yourself more. You're really going to learn to go inward and be nurtured and loved by yourself, by, going inward instead of needing to seek outside validation. Now, granted, we're never going to be fully rid of that because we're humans, but the awareness is what matters. So maybe you're going to become more aware of when you are going to other people to try to seek validation versus with yourself. Maybe you're going to start, toying with the idea of being able to come home to yourself when you're feeling triggered, when you're feeling alone, when you want to isolate, when you're feeling sad, and trusting your intuition and connecting to source, yourself, your heart, whatever that is, and really activate that to see the truth for what they are and allow yourself to be present in these flowing emotions, but like holding yourself as you go through them. I'm interested to see what this one card means because I don't even know what this word is. LXX. Oh, this is going to be cool. Okay, so the card is Aletheia. Aletheia stands for truth. Our soul recognizes truth. When someone speaks it, a cool wave of relief washes over the room, and all of the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside. Such is the power of Aletheia. Althea. It has an undeniable resonance that goes beyond the rational. We can also recognize Althea by its contagiousness. When we hear someone speak the truth, we see the truth within ourselves and are more likely to tell our own story. The Althea card requires us to step towards an act of truth. This might look like a conversation, a gesture, a poetic act, or a ritual that honors the unveiling of what's been concealed. Reclaiming your own truth. It is a way to reclaim your vital energy, health, and sense of belonging in the world. Truth has its own wings. Set it free. Okay? And it says, Picasso said, we all know that art is not truth. Art is a lie that makes us realize truth, at least the truth that is given to us for us to understand. Okay, it says that the resonance of our voice changes when we speak of falsity. In this light, practice seeing truth as a vibration. So that idea, like, when you know that you're telling a lie or someone is telling you a lie, you can tell, right? You can tell something changes. They become more nervous. The tone of voice shifts. They maybe don't make eye contact, right? This is saying give that power and that ability to the same aspect of speaking truth. What happens to your body when you speak the truth? okay? Your truth, whatever that is. And when I see Queen of Cups and have that come together with this truth, it really is like I was saying, like that psychic, so that really, really intuitive, connecting to your truth and embracing it, loving it, like with that maternal aspect of it and being able to be in the flow of it. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be stepping into their truth, but you have to follow your intuition. Also, situations that might be at bay right now in the world, that maybe you were on one side or the other side, being open to um trusting what feels true inside, even if it goes against what you thought you believed, even if it goes against what your friends believe, what your parents believe, what your family believes, what your job believes. um Really stepping into that truth energy and seeing how your body reacts when you read something. Do you want to believe it, but there's like this tension somewhere? Or um are you low key wondering if something else is true, but you're not vocalizing it? So really trusting your intuition, no matter what kind of emotions that brings up for you. I feel like that's going to be really important for February. The Guru for March, this is in reverse. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be breaking away from rigid, I shouldn't use the term rigid, but breaking away from establishments. This can represent corporate. This can represent a job. This can represent going against whatever society is saying is correct, going against rules, going against, like, this is like breaking off and going your own way. The Guru in reverse, I feel like, is going to be happening in March of 2022. A lot of people are going to be breaking away from um, constructs, um, corporate maybe, um, and laws or things that have been put in place, and really kind of seeing having their own experience with it. So it's kind of funny, you see this unfold. We have January, where you're like on a journey to self-love, figuring out who you even are, how you relate to other people, how other people relate to you, how your belief about yourself is calling in certain types of friendships and relationships, and why cycles are repeating. In February, you're going to start to really align with your truth, like that vibe of like, speak the truth even if your voice shakes, and if you're scared, you find comfort within yourself. You go inward to that maternal coddling yourself, but tapping into that intuitive, that psychic nature of like really being able to trust your intuition. That's it. That's what it is. That's what February is going to be really big on trusting your intuition, on understanding and discerning the voice of your intuition versus the voice of your ego. And the voice of your ego is everything but your intuition. This is other people's thoughts. This is things that you were trained to believe. This is what you read. This is what you consume. So really stepping into the vibration of the truth. And then in March, we have breaking free from constructs. So I feel like that's going to be happening. A lot of people are going to be, stepping into their truth, even if it goes completely against what they thought, and really breaking away from these. Wow, the shaman. That's funny. It's funny because the shaman was in my face the whole time that I was waiting to start this reading. So the shaman is a healer. The shaman is a journeyer. Okay. The shaman is someone that takes you um, through all periods of your life. They can bring you to your future. They can bring you to your past. They can bring you to a past life. They can bring you to other dimensions. Okay. To help you really go deep, deep, deep within across all timelines, and kind of, find healing in different pieces of timelines that kind of play a role into where you are right now. So I feel like as people are breaking away, I love this. I'm getting chills. As people are breaking away from these rigid norms, these rules, could be literal, like breaking away from corporate. It could be people starting to branch away from religious limitations and stepping into more of a general just belief without the walls. But people are going to really start to journey. People are going to really start to journey and toy with the idea, and not even toy with the idea, like explore the different ways in which we exist. We exist way more than just here on Instagram, on our phones, in our kitchen cooking. Like, we exist in many, I'm trying to find ways, like layman's terms, to say this, but things are a lot deeper than what meets the eye, basically. And I feel like a lot of people are going to start to really see how healing can come from and has to come from so many different realms, not just black and white, the one that we are in 3D right now. So people are really going to be journeying with their soul and seeing, how things could really be or how things really were, or finding healing in future situations or past situations so that the present can be more clear. Um, April, we have Queen of Wands. Okay. I feel like this is really going to help people step into their power, step into their confidence. This is a lot of solar plexus activation. Okay. This is like really embodying your purpose, radiating this energy that people are going to be like, wow, what happened to her? Like in a good way. Like she's different. She's changed, or he. And really having a better understanding of what it is, even if it's just the start, even if it's just the first step that you are supposed to do here, what your next step is. I feel like that's really going to be starting for you guys as you start to get clarity through this process of coming back home to yourself, journeying home to yourself, discerning your intuition, breaking away from rigid rules or beliefs, and really journaling throughout the depths of your soul. Wow. The underworld, okay? So the underworld, I was actually going to mention this, and it's so funny that this comes after the shaman. So the underworld, that is a place that, shamans often will travel to and will take people to. And it sounds like it has like this dark energy to it, right? The underworld. But the reality of the situation is it really doesn't. I'm getting from this that in the underworld is where people are going to find their power. Okay. In the underworld is where people are going to find, that healing that ignites something within them, really activating that solar plexus chakra and that purpose, kind of, like you're taking a piece that was missing or a piece of a puzzle that needed to be filled and filling it and realizing that you had to do that through deeper soul healing, not just like something here in your day-to-day life. Like this is coming through deeper soul healing where you really need to travel, you need to meditate, you need to have like an out-of-body experience and really go within to seek the answers that you need to what is holding you back. So you're going to be breaking away in March, starting to journey, starting to be this shaman with your soul, traveling through the depths of your soul to find, whatever's going on. I feel like you're going to get that. You're going to get that from this traveling, from this healing, and it's really going to activate you into your power in April. And then May, we have rapid, beautiful transformation with the 8 of Wands. So I feel like, with this traveling, with this healing, with this breaking away, I'm getting like, I'm picturing like somebody's soul being chained to their body, and I'm seeing the chains come off and the soul become free. And this happens through breaking away from things in our 3D world that hold us down and suppress us. Like, a lot of people will say like, my loved one passed and I want them to come to me in a dream, and they never come to me in a dream. Or some people will say, I try to meditate, but I can't quiet my mind. And like, I've even told my dad this because my sister passed away, and he would be like, she never comes to me in a dream. I never see her, whatever. And, even before I really tapped into all this, because I've always been who I am, but I always knew, and I would always tell him, like, when your mind is too occupied by negativity, when your mind is too occupied by pain, by stress, by anxiety, when you give yourself no silence, you're not going to be able to tap in, whether it's to your higher self for guidance or to loved ones that have passed. They're not going to be able to reach you. They could be at your door banging down, whether it's a loved one that passed or your higher self trying to bring you guidance, or a spirit guide coming in trying to bring you guidance. They could be banging on your door, but you're too busy obsessing over the anxiety, over the to-do list, over the victim mindset of all the things that are wrong with your life, out of all the things that are going wrong and go wrong and go wrong. And if you're on my email list, I talked about this yesterday when I sent out a message about the perspective that comes. And they can't reach you. They can't reach you when you're in victim mode, when you're on autopilot, just trying to get everything done, where you're never coming home to yourself. And this is what comes back to that energy of January, on a journey to yourself. what we're seeing here from January to April is this true journey to that silence with the soul, going within, going in, breaking the chains off of you from off of 3D. This is spiritual awakening. Like, this is like, I'm getting lightheaded as I'm saying this. Like, this is like spiritual awakening right here. It's like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Like, it's broken down for you right here. So many people, wow, I'm getting chills. So many people are going to be having spiritual awakenings in the next few months. Oh, what was that? Wow. Hold on. I can't get the cards up. All right, well, I guess they're meant to stay down there. It's so funny. The mother. Each card that I look at, I'm like, okay, I keep seeing this, but I didn't shuffle. First happened with the shaman, now it's happening with the mother. So I'm seeing the cards and then they're coming out after I've been shuffling. So that's how you know it's for you. So the mother, that's also very much like the Queen of Cups. So we have May, we have this rapid, beautiful transformation. And it's beautiful too because May, at least if you're on this part of the hemisphere that I'm in, is when things really start to feel uplifting. The sun is out longer, summer's around the corner, the birds are chirping, you're seeing the butterflies, you don't need a jacket, you're sowing your garden. Mother's Day, wow, Mother's Day. And we have the mother. Okay, so for some of you that have mother wounds, it could be that you are really doing healing throughout that wound space of your mother at this time. It could be that you are really stepping into your motherly role, which can be literal or not. The mother energy is basically the leveling up from the maiden. So like there's the 3 archetypes, right? The maiden, the mother, and the crone. Okay, so the maiden is like the young one. Like for me, my maiden phase of life was like pretty intense. If you knew me, you know that my maiden phase was very intense. It's very much about dancing with your devil, dancing with your inner darkness, exploring, toying with things that maybe are not the best idea to toy with, stuff like that. As you kind of move past that and you mature, and you can see this in the spiritual awakening that's unfolding, you can see that we are up leveling here, this beautiful transformation into the phase of the mother. So the mother is not as wise as the crone. She's not as experienced as the crone. She hasn't endured everything that she will by the time she reaches the crone. But there is a definite shift. There's a definite change. The immaturity aspect is really pulled out, and people are really stepping into their power, more so knowing who they are. That energy that, like, when you're a maiden, somebody could come to you and they could make a remark to you, and you might be thinking about it all day and you might be obsessing over it, people have the power more to shake your energy when you are in the maiden phase. Once you step into your motherly self, and again, this can be literal or not, like, people, your energy isn't as easily shaken. People can't your whole day isn't going to be thrown off by seeing something on someone's story, or by a comment someone made, or seeing that you weren't invited. And even if it does trigger you, you're going to have a more mature way to deal with that, because now you've gone through this journey here, of the journey back home to yourself, to how you love others, to your relationships, to trusting your intuition, discerning intuition from ego, to breaking away from constructs, breaking away from people, breaking away from places, breaking away from things, going on this soul journey, the depths of the underworld, really finding your power, discovering who you are through all of that. And now you know how to navigate that as these triggers come up. Okay. So then we have for June, the 3 of Wands. I got this for mine too. I just can't remember what month. And for those of you that are hopping on, I'm doing a general 2022 reading. I'm breaking down each month. I will post this. So if you are missing pieces, yes. Okay, so you guys got the desert. I got the desert last night for January. I really love the desert. All right, I have another card I can't get up now. I'm just going to leave them on the floor. So we have the 3 of Wands and the desert, which is ironic. This is for June, because they kind of go against each other. So the 3 of Wands is very much calling in opportunities, okay? The 3 of Wands is seeking aid, seeking help, being open to receiving, leaving one situation and going on to the next one, taking an opportunity as it comes in, not missing the boat, okay? But then we have the desert card, and the desert is all about a period of dryness, a period of, thirst but no hydration, a period of, when it's daytime, it's hot and it's blistering and it's like just trying to get by. When it's night, it's nothing but vast darkness and you can't see where you are, where you're going. And, that might sound alarming, but you've just gone through a spiritual awakening from January to June. You have some experience under your belt on how to navigate these tumultuous times, on how to sit with yourself when you feel alone, how to sit with yourself when things feel dark. I mean, Christ, you went on a soul journey to the underworld and found healing and really found your power and stepped into that and matured from the maiden to the mother. You can handle this. This is telling you, I almost feel like, you have to be willing to call in opportunities, be open to receiving the blessings, and understand that sometimes it will be feast and sometimes it will be famine. And I feel like for June, maybe it'll feel like a famine. Maybe you just went through all of this healing and you're like, okay, I'm ready. Shit's about to pop off. Abundance is about to come my way. I'm ready. And then you stand there and you're looking and you're waiting for the boat to come in, but the boat's not coming in. Or maybe you thought that you were going to find aid or help in this situation, but it's not really happening that way. And what I'm getting from this is like a little reminder of what we started to learn in January, is that not always is it going to be something that we can call in that will bring us that hydration, that quenching of our thirst. Sometimes we have to turn around and go within to really decide where it is that we're supposed to go, what it is that we're supposed to do, or understanding that sometimes you got to wait longer than you want to, but trusting divine timing and not your timing. Is going to be really important. Being able to sit with that period of dryness and go, okay, maybe you need to pivot. Maybe you need to go to plan B. Maybe you need to change your approach, or maybe you just need to be patient and go within and understand that not every single month, not every single time frame is going to be fruitful. That sometimes the fruit isn't the money, the job, the opportunity. Sometimes the fruit is what we learn when we don't get that thing, at least not at that time. Okay. And that's how you make space for the real blessing to come in. And I'm getting with the Eight of Swords in reverse that in July, you're really going to be breaking free of these limitations, these fears, this mindset. Now, granted, we're human, so these mindsets are always going to come in. We're always going to have the fear. Sorry to YouTube. I keep talking to Instagram, but I'm not talking to YouTube. But we're always going to have fears and limitations, but as you become more aware of this process, you're going to be able to break away from them easier. Okay. So this period here of calling in help and being in your feminine, your divine feminine, you're open to receiving and maybe not getting what you want, or maybe not getting the response that you imagine, is really going to send you inward again. And I feel like you're going to break free of some, instead of it sending you back into a ball, you're actually going to further break free from it, because you're going to be like, okay, what can I learn from that experience? And maybe, just maybe, I'm hearing now it's going to force you to step out of your comfort zone, because maybe here you're calling in these blessings, these opportunities, but you're still doing things from within your comfort zone. You're not really taking that leap yet, right? This is going to show you know what? I really do have to step out of my comfort zone. What I'm doing is not working. It's time to pivot. I need to break free from the fears of my mind telling me that I'm not capable or that I can't do it. And, oh, yes, because the next card makes sense too. But I'm going to stick to July for a second and see what card comes out. So that was June, we're starting July. Now we're on July. I have the river. Fuck this. I love it. We go from the desert to the river. So remember, I kept talking about, the desert feeling so thirsty, but not having that quench of thirst, being able to be comfortable in the thirst, being able to be comfortable not getting quenched the minute that you want to get quenched. Pivoting so that you can step out of your comfort zone. And as you break free from the limitations with this, you are then going to step into the river. Okay, the river is going to begin to flow. You're going to go from a period of barren where you're like, all right, I'm ready. Come on, someone come help me. Bring me the opportunity. See this person, they're waiting for someone else to come and no one's coming. They're waiting for an opportunity to come pick them up. They're waiting for that boat to come pick them up and take them with them, but no one's coming. So they're going, you know what? I got to build my own fucking boat. I don't know how to build a boat, but I'm going to break free from that fear that I don't know how I'm going to fucking build it. And boom, you're in the river and you're moving. So here you're barren, you're dry, you're on land while they're in the river, right? Wow, I love how this is coming together. Now you break free, you build your own boat instead of waiting for someone else to build it for you, and boom, you are in the river. It is the flow, okay? I kind of want to go, I don't know why, but I want to read you whatever this page says about the river, okay? The stream, the flow, the current. There is a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness embodied in physical form. Without asking anything in return, the river washes away what is no longer necessary, which is huge here with these limitations, okay? Sorry, YouTube. Oh, I keep forgetting that you're here. I'll get used to it, okay? Smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all of our mistakes and grievances. Once we step into the river, we are no longer in control. The river carries us further down the stream of transformation than we plan to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't seen ourselves before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind, the you that stands within the river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential, nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink the sight of your true self. So much spiritual awakening is happening for the collective this year. I mean, I already knew that, but damn. Okay. So then we have justice. Justice is coming in for August. And it's like, you get to sit back now and be like, wow. You get to look back and be like, I am here because I chose to be here. I could have repeated the same cycles over and over again. I could have not gone on that journey within myself. I could have stayed within those constructs, those limitations, those belief systems that weren't serving me. But instead, I chose to break free. Instead, I chose to go within and trust that intuition. Instead, I chose to, instead of blaming everybody else in January, I decided to go on to a pilgrimage back to myself and find myself. You made the decision this year to find yourself, and you went on a soul journey. And in August, the justice card comes out, and it's like everything you're seeing right now is a result of the choices that you made. So for those of you that choose to go on this journey, because this may be the collective forecast, but everybody has free will. Not everybody's going to take this journey. Some of you are going to feel the calling. Some of you are going to try, but then you're going to forget. You're going to go back in that autopilot. You're not going to trust your intuition. You're not going to break away from those social constructs. You're not going to take that soul journey. Don't be that person. Wow. Now we have the mountain. So for me, when I see justice with the mountain after the desert, the river, then the mountain, it's like that period of barrenness brought you to yourself, took you through that transformational flow. Now you have reached not the top of the mountain, but you're higher. You're on a mountain now. You're off the dry land, out of the water, and you're climbing up, and you're able to look back down at every decision you made that led you here. And now you can further assess and make decisions that will lead you where you're going. You have a clearer vision of where you're going now, because it was harder to see this mountaintop from the desert. But you trust yourself. You allowed yourself to go on this journey, this emotional journey through the river that brought you here. And now you have a clearer vision of where you need to go. I want to read this too. I just really like this deck. And since I literally touched it for like the first time last night, I want to have my experience with the cards as I pull them. So I'm going to read to you. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us towards its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, and gods that have made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights, yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self, so ego, okay? Standing upon its heights can activate the purist and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, the minerals, and the jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you are following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. I love that message because I've experienced that in my own life. I have to go back and look at, where my own ego became inflated. When I first started to work for myself a few years ago and I first started to really make a lot of money, I still make good money, but my energy is shifted, okay? Because I have a new it it was always this rush to the top, to the next goal, to the next peak, to the next this, to the next that. When you really have to start to realize that the journey is what matters, that it's what's within that matters. Because once you reach the top, then it's like, okay, I reached the top. Now what? If you're so conditioned and trained to always get to the next best thing, and then you do get egotistical. I was living in ego. I was having an inflated sense of self, and you really have to go through things to realize. And not everybody, because again, the free will that I mentioned, that the things that we deem so important aren't always as important. And for me, having chronically sick kids, I was making crazy money for the first time, but my baby, my brand new baby, was in the hospital, and she was in the NICU, and she was on respiratory support, and I felt like I can afford a home birth. I can have all this at home. It was the pandemic. I'm having my baby at home, and whereas the home birth didn't harm her because we didn't know that she had congenital issues that led to the complications, it was very ego crushing to arrive in the hospital after thinking I had that much power to protect her from where I gave birth to her. Now, obviously, that plays a role, but, and I found myself driving my car home to visit my son for a couple hours and then to come back to the hospital in tears, begging God, saying, I will give every dollar, because it was looking grim early on with my daughter. She's a miracle every day. But begging, I said, I will give it all away. I thought that it was punishment. Am I being punished? Like, I understand what matters. I don't care. And I vowed to donate thousands of dollars, and I did. And, I was like, please just make my daughter okay, and in that moment, I had a very, 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 very big wake up call, that the things that I deemed so important, the peaks of the mountain that I thought were so important, really don't matter at all when the things that really matter come up. So it's that journey to really asking yourself, what are you prioritizing? What decisions are you making? And how are things coming full circle back to you? Are you making decisions based on ego? Or are you making decisions based on soul? And, this is something that we all have to go through. Spiritual awakenings, people think that you have glitter coming out of your ass and you're like, you're levitating and meditating and talking to friggin' angels all day. It's dark. It's that soul journey to the underworld where you have to unlock all of the things that you locked up that you don't even remember are there, so that you can set them free and make space for the light to come in. So I feel like in August it's going to be a lot of assessing, how far have I come, where have my decisions taken me, where am I trying to go next, and how does it align with my soul. So there's going to be a lot of questions in August about like soul path, soul, what led me here, where do I want to go, and what really matters, because I mean, I guess people that follow me might notice, but there was definitely a complete change in me when I had this moment, and I continue to have it every day. I used to care so much about the dollar amount. I was so obsessed with the money I was making. I was doubling my income every year. I wanted to continue to double my income every year. And I've really put so much value on myself with the money that I made. Now, instead of obsessing over the dollar amount, because you realize the dollar amount itself doesn't do anything. What does the dollar amount give you? Now I'm coming back to money because it was my experience with this. And it's a lot of people's experience in this human world, right? Our relationship with money and abundance and all that, and unlocking it, and then how we handle that. And it's not so much having the dollar amount that I obsess about. It's more so, what can the dollar amount give to myself and to others, So as in not the Louis, even though I love my Louis bags, but my time with my kids, the ability to be with them at every appointment because they have chronic issues, the ability to keep real estate, buy a house, get them the bigger yard, but like the soul, not like the look at my what I have, flashy, more so how does it feel in this space with my bubble? How do we feel here? You know? So making that shift, I feel like, and really asking yourself these questions and doing like a soul assessment of where am I? Where am I aligned with soul? So I'm really seeing that for August, September, October, November, December. So September, I have 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is going to be a very fulfilling. It's funny that I was just talking about this because it's a very fulfilling family card. It's happiness in the home. It's finding wholeness and completion instead of focusing on the missing pieces. So being able to feel at home with what you have, with what you create, and not worried about who or what is missing. Finding that true happiness at home. Oh my God. Sorry. These cards fall and they're really hard to pick up when they fall. And I can't get it. Got it. Okay. So the riddle, I got this as well. So this is another journey card. So the riddle, when you think about the riddle, it's like when you're doing a riddle, it's a question that's not right, black and white. It's not what is 1 + 1. It is if one had a friend, and you really have to like tie things together. So I feel like with the riddle and the 10 of Cups, you're really going to be understanding that maybe there's not a clear-cut answer to what will solve the family issue, what will fix the family unit, what will complete. It's more so, understanding that it always lies in the present moment. It's just being able to find it where it is. So with a riddle, you're trying to find the answer. You're trying to read between the lines, right? Read between the lines and see that you have this completion and you have this happiness right here where you are. You're going to be on this journey to what is it that makes a home feel happy to me? What is it that I think will make me feel like my space is sacred, that our home is complete, that I'm providing a happy home for my children, or a safe space for myself, or my relationship is thriving, or I feel like I'm finally in the right place. You're like, ask yourself, what is it? What is it that will make me feel that way? What is it that I value in the home? What is it that I value in the relationship? And really, really understanding and learning and digging in and seeing, because you've done all this soul work now. Now we can integrate big picture, because when we're doing soul work, we can't fix them. We can't fix the friend. We can't fix the husband, the wife, the partner, the dad, the mom. We can't fix anyone. You learn on this soul thing that it's only people can fix themselves. You see how much work it is to go within yourself. We're never truly fixed, but we are aware that it is so much to do to yourself. Imagine trying to do it for another person. The only thing that you can do is inspire somebody through your own actions to go on a journey of self-healing, self-journeying, okay? So once you go within and you really have an understanding of yourself now, what makes you tick, where you come from, you've up leveled, you've matured, you've had this spiritual awakening, you're understanding what brought you here and where you want to go. Now you can integrate it into a unit about, okay, my space, my family, what is it that I want, and there's going to be a lot that's unveiled with that, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of answers for you that go completely against what you used to think. Maybe you thought the happy home meant, I had to have all the shiny things. I had to have all the space, all of this, that. But then you realize that it's actually, like they said, it's not about the peak of the mountain. It's the gems and jewels lie with inside. So it's not about getting to the top, but it's the miner mentality. If I can just go within, I will find the gold, And October, we have Ace of Cups. This is a whole opportunity. I'm hearing that the opportunity that you wanted to come in June that didn't come is going to come bigger and better than you ever could have thought here in October. Okay. After you've really gone on this journey. Like when you got to June, you're like, wow, I did a lot. I'm ready. But then it brings you to do more. And it's like, okay, now you have space for this. Now you can be trusted with the blessing. Now you are ready. And this is like my cup overflows. This is like that tapping into gratitude. Oh my God. Because I'm seeing the card that's next. I'm trying not to go ahead of myself. I'm tapping into the gratitude. I'm tapping into, really seeing where my cup overflows, how much I have to offer. The offers are coming in. I feel so like like you enter into your body, okay? Like in October. Yeah, this is October. And you really step into this. This is going to be posted too, so don't worry about it. And anybody watching the replay, I'm responding to live comments. Okay. So this is funny. So the card for October is the Destroyer. The Destroyer. So with the Ace, now I'm going to read it. I'm going to read the book because I want to know what this card says. But intuition first. I feel like the Destroyer with the Ace of Cups, the vibe that I'm getting from this is that like every single thing that does not align with who you are now is going to have fallen away. Your destroyers, I don't know if you're saying wonderful because destroyer sounds like, but I don't take it like that at all. I take it as everything that is not aligned and that is in the way of your blessings will be destroyed. It's going to be removed. It's going to be taken away. And you're really going to be focusing on where your cup, like I was saying, is overflowing versus where it's empty. The things that do not, and the next card, I'm not telling you yet what that is, but very much aligns with this. Very much aligns with this. You are going to have everything that is in your way that is holding you back destroyed. It's very much tower energy for me, like the tower card in tarot, which makes me feel like, sometimes things fall away from us that we don't want to let go of, and it's painful. We don't want that boyfriend to break up with us. We don't want to get fired from that job. We don't want to have to move. But it ends up being a beautiful thing, right? So sometimes we want to grip, but we don't know that the blessing is around the corner, and you have to let go to allow it to come in. Okay? So the savage, the unexpected, the rejected, the destroyer, the final of the three archetypes in the trio of existence, has a necessary yet painful, like I was just saying, necessary yet painful work to do in the world. Culturally, we have an aversion to ending. So like I was just saying, we don't want the breakup. We don't want to move. We don't want to lose the job, right? And we hang on to it. We hang on to it. Yet the destroyer pulls the rug out from underneath the relationships, the jobs, and the homes. Did I just fucking say that? Wow. Guys, this is brand new. I never used this card before, okay? It is the part of us that wants things to end. It is painful orientation as it is to uncover our true purpose. The destroyer does not let us linger long in comfort, as it knows not much happens in the realm of comfort. With its piercing eyes, it seeks out stagnancy from a distance, and the rest becomes history. In the old myths, this is the moment when heads begin to roll, the ground opens up, the castles crumble. Hold on for the ride because the destroyer has arrived. This is swift and precise blows that redirect our life. Totally. Okay. So for me, it says, consider Picasso's statement. Every act of creation is first of all an act of destruction. And this really ties in so well with what has just happened and what is coming in next. Things are going to be removed so that new opportunities can come in, so that you can really see where your cup overflows, where you are grateful, what you are grateful for. And it is going to be that like feeling of like you're going through something so painful and sad, but when you get through it and you look back, you're like, thank God that happened. Okay. That's October. And November is death. And death is a beautiful card. Death talks about the transformation of allowing an old phase, an old chapter, an old way of being to die so that you can be reborn and transformed into a newer version of yourself. So for the rebirth, first must come the death. Okay? And it's a beautiful time frame. So it's going to be very transformative in October and November. Why can't they just not go on the floor? Okay. All right, well, 2 cards. I thought it was 1, but it's 2. We have the animal and the shapeshifter. So the way that I'm going to view this intuitively right now is like with the death and the rebirth, right? The animal, your inner animal, I feel like you're going to be reborn into really stepping into like, I don't want to say your animal self, but like, think of an animal. An animal is very aware of their goal. They're very aware of their surroundings. They're very aware of their pack. They're very aware of what their mission is, what they need to do that day. And then the shapeshifter, I almost feel like it's that energy of like you are going to learn in this rebirth period that you are more than just the animal within you. You are more than just that thing that you think you're supposed to do, that routine, that like just when you think you found your routine, just when you think you found what you're supposed to be doing and how you're going to do it, and you've got it all laid out and you are learning through this rebirth that you have the ability to be ever changing, that you have the ability to leap timelines. So when I first started hearing of leaping timelines, yes, I'm going through each month. This is a 2022 year ahead. So I'm doing each month and I'm going to repost it. So if you've got on late, you can see what I'm missing or what you missed. Okay. When I first started hearing like quantum leap, jumping timelines, I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about? Like in the spiritual world, right? I'm like, leaping timelines. Like what? I'm picturing like Back to the Future, like getting in the car, like, the whatever, I don't know, I forget what he said is busted. Whatever. The movie, right? Very unrealistic things. But I realized that we leap timelines all the time. It's called quantum leaping. It's when your life, the decisions that you were making, had you destined, you were heading towards a certain outcome. So for me, an example of when I leap timelines, right, would be when I got sober when I was 21. I'm not sober anymore, but I'm not I don't really drink anyway, but I'm not the same person that was abusing substances at that time because I've completely leaped timelines. I'm a different person, right? I shape shifted. So when I'm hearing leaping timelines, leaping shape shifting, I'm thinking of literal Harry Potter, like, people turning into cats and shit. Like, I'm like, dude, this doesn't happen as much as I wish. But now I'm realizing how much we really all do this on the regular. We shapeshift, we leap timelines. So for me, when I got sober, I quantum leaped. I leaped timelines. The road that I was headed was death. No joke. No, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was crashing cars, totaling cars. I totaled 3 cars in 2 weeks. Okay. I should have been very hurt. It's a miracle that I never hurt another person. I was abusing substances. I was, suicidal. I was headed for death. Okay. At one point, I was about to toy around with a type of substance that a lot of people don't come back from. Didn't happen. Got sober. My life completely changed. I had my first spiritual awakening, and I completely shifted timelines, meaning I left the timeline that I was on, the direction that I was headed, and I went to a higher vibrational timeline and went onto a different path. Okay. And I no longer was hurting myself, driving blacked out drunk, getting pulled over. And like when I tell you, like, I bought a brand new car and I totaled it, fucking rear-ended the shit out of someone, airbag smoke, done, right? Bruises everywhere. The next week, I totaled the fucking rental into a parked car, blacked out, got breathalyzed, and blew nothing. Tell me that wasn't my angels like, listen, bitch, you better get it together because you got work to do, right? So we timeline jump, right? If we implement our free will enough to leave the timelines that we're in that are not taking us where we want to go. Okay. But we have to be able to make the hard decisions, go through the spiritual awakenings, the soul journeys, really journey back to ourselves, figure out what's missing within us, all of that stuff that has to happen. Because this is totally spelling out a spiritual awakening, this entire collective reading. So many people are going to be going through spiritual awakenings. If you're hopping on now, okay, make sure you go back and listen to the other months. People are going to be realizing their ability to jump timelines, to literally change the trajectory of where they're going, and understand that you can shapeshift, as in you don't have to be the same animal that you think you are, that you're destined to be, or that you've always been. You can always turn into something else. Because and by turning into something else, I don't mean trying to change external factors. I don't mean getting new glasses, changing your hair, going to the gym. While all that's cool, I'm talking more deeper level shit. And I'm not talking turn into somebody else. Actually completing and coming home to that journey that we started in February of you're about to start a pilgrimage of coming back to you. And it's starting to make sense now, because now we're in November. We're about to complete this pilgrimage, right? So, yeah, wow, cool. And then December. So let's see what December, we have the Six of Cups, which is a lot of, we already have a card. December, we have the Six of Cups, which is a lot about having fun, putting some of the adult responsibilities to the side, realizing what brings you joy, asking yourself if money and time were not an issue, what would I be doing? And it's also a lot of reminiscing on your childhood. It could be happy things. It could be that something comes up that you are really reminiscing back on your childhood. It could also be unlocking, more childhood trauma as that comes up. Because then I have the Ocean too, which I'm assuming has a lot to do with emotions and being present in your emotions. But I feel like people are going to really be not finishing because it never ends, but really like in a time where now you're just like piecing things together. Like for me, for example, I've done a lot of soul work. I do soul work all the time. It's what I do. But I notice myself, like I will have a random memory from childhood that I didn't think about. Like on a random Tuesday, someone will say something and it'll bring up a memory for me. And right there, it's like, boom, I can connect how that happens here. And like, boom, I just aligned something. It wasn't some whole thing. It wasn't some whole spiritual awakening. It was just like, now as things come up, I can be like, oh, wow, I forgot about that. And when I think about that, I can see how that ties into this. And maybe that's why I react in those situations, and piecing it together. So you're going to be in a position where you're able to do that. Now let's see what the Ocean means. So I'm feeling like there's going to be things that are coming up, and you're going to be able to make sense of it without it being like this whole process, but also at the same time, you allow yourself to be submerged in it, but not swept away. Does that make sense? So the Ocean. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. So when I'm hearing that and I'm seeing the Six of Cups, this is really, like I was just saying, the idea of bringing up suppressed memories. Like I was saying, it'll be something I never thought about, and then it comes up, right? So you're going to have these suppressed memories that are coming up, or these things from childhood that you didn't even realize could have made an impact on you here. And you're going to start to tie those things together and find clarity. Okay. We cannot live in the ocean. We cannot claim it. We cannot manage it, and we cannot own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature. Yet, amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. Okay. So there's that inner child into who you are today. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth in new being. Life is change. Let the wave crash. So I feel like for December and this, it's like you have just like, you've really done something here in 2022. You've really, really done a spiritual awakening, a transformation, a healing, a soul journey, a coming back home to yourself. And like with the first card being the Two of Cups and the Pilgrim for January, like starting this pilgrimage, this journey back to yourself. Holy shit, you're doing it here. Now, to complete the reading, I have the crown of the reading, the Page of Pentacles, right? And when I see the Page of Pentacles, this often has a lot to do with a job, a new way to make money, a new experience, okay? The way that I'm seeing this is like you're gonna like, and a page is like a child, like see how they're like playing with this, and they're like, ooh, a pentacle. They're like, I've never seen this before. This is fascinating. Like you've never been here before, and you're looking around and you're like, wow, like this is shiny, this is cool. You're having a total rebirth and new experience with life as you know it this year. The Village. Okay. So it's funny, a pilgrimage, right? Like where you're going on this journey, the village, I feel like once you arrive, you're going to really arrive with your soul tribe. You're going to really arrive where you belong, where you are destined to end up after the end of this year, as long as your free will aligns with this reading and you make the decisions that can bring you here. So let's just see what the village says, and then we are going to go. Let's see. I don't even know what L means in Roman numerals. Okay. Yes. The hometown, the family, the tree. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's a place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists. One most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present. Anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or idea, it may have served us in the past, yet staying within the parameters of it will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing that you will someday return, but for now, the world awaits. So really, like I said, going on that pilgrimage, that experience, that new experience with life, having a total new view on everything, going on this journey within and understanding that you are going to be aligning with your soul tribe. You're going to be aligning with the places and things that really will feed your soul and what it's growing into. So this is a powerful collective year, very powerful collective year. I was feeling these energies, but I love to see them like on paper here, unfold it. It's like really a beautiful thing. Feel free to reference back to this. I know it's going to be hard. That's why when I do my personal year ahead readings that I'm going to start this week, for the people that purchase their own individual one, I'm writing it up for you. It's like, so like I'm typing, it's going to be like a paper paragraph for each month, and then the overall for easy reference back. Because for me, I've been doing these for myself for years, and I always go back to the months, and it's amazing to see how they unfold together. So I do offer that. I'm going to probably be taking that offering down in about a week. But that is on my website, which is my link in bio. But feel free to reference back to this and find the month and really see if it aligns with you, and if you feel like your free will is aligning with this journey that you're being invited to take. Because as a collective this year, I can tell you there's going to be mass awakening, mass changing of the vibration of this planet. Like it is going to be transforming. Some people are going to not even notice it's happening because they're so down here, like I was talking about earlier in the reading, where you don't even know that spirit is banging on your door like, hello, wake up, because you're so in 3D and focused on being a victim and what's wrong and so busy and yada yada that you don't take a minute to tap and tune in. But so many people are going to tap and tune in, and their vibration is going to lift. They're going to do these timeline jumps. They're going to ascend to higher vibrations, shape shift into better versions of themselves, really go within to the underworld, the shaman, the soul journey, and come out like completely different. And when you have a collective raising their vibration, you raise the vibration of the planet. So it's going to be amazing. I'm super, super excited to see this. And I want your feedback. So if you watch this, feel free to message me. And also, if you come back to this throughout the year, message me. Be like, yo, I just went back to that, year ahead from January. And wow, it's aligning. This is what's going on. I'd love to hear about it. So someone said this is so on point. Someone said I was here from the beginning and I really enjoyed this. I feel like you were speaking directly to me. I love that. I want you to feel like I'm speaking directly to you because I am speaking directly to you. That's the beauty of collective situations. That's why I love the collective Reiki. Again, I don't remember if I said that, but the collective Reiki is happening tonight, which aligns so much with this energy of like a new beginning, a new idea. That's going to be at 9 o'clock. So you can still sign up for that with my link in bio. But the collective sessions, like whether it's the reading or the Reiki, just because there are other people receiving it doesn't take away, but there is always the ability for the very personal, just like reading as well. So that being said, thank you. And this was really fun. And I can't wait to see how this unfolds. And for those of you that are joining me tonight in the Reiki, I will see you then. Bye.